To the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is the moment of silence. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Present.
Trustee Lepore.
Present.
Trustee Reinders. Trustee Muller. Trustee Schaller.
Present.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Present.
Mayor Knightsky-Troicki.
Present. Trustee Muller did say he was coming. He's just stuck in traffic. He's on his way. All right, next is community recognition. Assuming we have none, does anybody have any good stories to tell? No? Okay. Amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments? Hearing none, is there approval of the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Reinders, Trustee Mason, any discussion? No. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Muller. Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, public hearing. The public hearing regarding authorizing the execution of the intergovernmental agreement, cooperative planning and jurisdictional boundary agreement between the Village of New Lenox and the Village of Homer Glen. The regular meeting will be in the recess for the purposes of conducting a public hearing. Is there a motion to open the public hearing regarding authorizing the execution of the intergovernmental cooperative planning and jurisdictional boundary agreement between the Village of New Lenox and the Village of Homer Glen?
I will make that motion.
Trustee Holzhauser?
I'll second.
Trustee Reinders? Is there any discussion on this?
We brought this up at A&F, and this is something that should have been done already. And we're finally getting caught up, and I think it's time to go ahead and get it done.
It's like a year overdue.
Yeah.
So I can touch base on that a little bit. So or Janie can, there was just a couple changes because when the original plan or the original agreement was done, Tierling Farm came into play. So we had to update a few things. And we were going back and forth on a little bit of a language, but in the end, we just all agreed to leave it as it was and move on. Oh, sorry.
May I say something?
Yeah, got your mic.
Sorry. There was one change from the language that was previously there.
Very tiny.
There was, in summary, so that we don't get any legalese here, there was language to the extent that in the open annexation area, the village or that the New Lenox would consider potentially providing the sewer treatment service for it. I can share this with you. Any contract that says I may consider something, I consider it and I'm not going to do it. Okay, so there was never any concrete obligation written in the prior agreement requiring New Lenox to provide any sort of sanitary service. The language that they used was simply they shall consider it. Okay. Because that's all wishy-washy and because that's really not giving anything, that language was stricken out of the agreement in its entirety. In the event that we do search for or we look for the potential for wastewater treatment out in that area when the time comes, we'll address it then. But that's the only substantive change, Mayor, that was there.
Yes, thank you. Joe, was there any public comments for the public hearing? I didn't see any originally, but I know we had some latecomers just to make sure. No? Okay. The public hearing regarding the boundary agreement between the Village of New Lenox and the Village of Homer Glen is open for comments, as we stated. The public hearing is designed to allow residents to state their opinions and/or concerns. It's not a question-answer session. Since there are no comments, is there a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Reinders?
I'll second.
Trustee Mason? Oh, Trustee Muller is here. Did you stay? Stay for the record, 6:34. Trustee Muller showed up. Okay, now we are going to move on to,
You have to call a roll vote.
oh yeah, sorry, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Moving on to approval of minutes. August 27th, 2020. Is there a motion to approve the minutes for August 27th, 2025 Village Board meeting?
Go ahead.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee
I'll second.
Lepore, Trustee Mason. Any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve September 10th, 2025 Village Board meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Reinders?
Second.
Trustee Schaller? Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Motion carries. Next up is public comment. Ellen Moritz? You have 3 minutes, but if you need extra time, we'll be happy to extend it to you.
Thank you. I don't have anything official written, but just wanted to talk to you guys about the 143rd Street expansion. I know it wasn't on the agenda today, but my property is still being affected despite the revision. I know there's 30 properties that are still being affected. I wanted to come and speak to you just to get some transparency, to get some updates. I know that won't be happening during the meeting per se. I know it's not on the agenda, but I just wanted to show my face, talk to you guys, maybe talk to somebody after the meeting. I know there's been a lot of talk from the village on the website, on social media, via emails. We're doing everything from the board and the trustees, that you guys are doing everything you can, and I really appreciate that, but especially now that the revision was approved and it's only 30 properties, I just worry that we'll get forgotten. Because there's not as many properties being affected. So that's really the big thing. When we moved to Homer Glen, my husband and I, we've been here for 10 years. We had no idea that our property was going to be impacted when we purchased our property. So then within a year and a half, we all of a sudden got a notification about everything. So it was quite the shock. You know, I'm not like a 30-year resident, but we moved here and wanted to stay here forever. I frequently think about moving, but I don't want to move. And to be honest, financially, that would be a very dumb move. So my only option is to keep fighting. I plan to keep fighting, and I would like to have conversations with the village board moving forward, because I just feel like everything I hear is, we're trying. And I'm sure you guys are, but I'm running out of time. Because when I get the 60-day notice from the negotiation company, I have 60 days. And that's it, because I can't go to court, because I'm not rich. So that was it. That's all I have. I will go back.
If you can just hold on until we have our reports, then we might be able to update you on some things.
Sounds good. Oh, the other thing I was going to add, so my property, which every time I tell people they're shocked about, I'm in the south, I'm actually west of Parker, so everybody thinks that my property is not being affected, but it is. I actually double-checked with Jeff Ronaldson with the county. So I'm actually west of Parker, and I'm still being affected because I'm on the southwest corner. And it's a 30 by 30, like a triangular, 30 along one side, 30 along another. So it's a very large piece of my yard. It's not like 5 feet. It will completely change the face of my backyard and the feel of my home.
30 by 30.
All right, that was all I wanted to add.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, seeming there's no more public comment, we're going to move on to reports and communications from President and other officers. Joe Baber.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First off, reporting on the Behavioral Health and Addiction Recovery Committee. The Behavioral Health and Addiction Recovery Committee held our wellness event this past Saturday. We had about 11 different groups promoting different mental health initiatives. We had a walk with inspirational sayings around the Active Core walking trail, and this was well received by not only participants in the event, but also just residents out for a stroll around the trail. We left the signs out through the weekend. We did get some positive feedback. They thought that was kind of cool that we had those out there, so that was nice to hear. Rain ended up cutting our event a little short, but we learned a little bit and we'll make a few adjustments for next year. We anticipate having another panel discussion maybe early next year. Also, I'm reporting for the Environment Committee. As a reminder, the deadline to submit for the Community and Nature and Harmony Award is this Friday, September 26th, but they will continue to accept big tree nominations until October 17th. You can visit the community website or Facebook for more information on these awards. The Environment Committee has a few events coming up this fall. The Fall Stargazing event at Heritage Park is this Friday from 7:30 to 10. It looks like they will have perfect weather for night sky viewing with the help of volunteer astronomer telescopes, and they will also host Big Run Wolf Ranch in the community room. Also this Saturday is the electronic and household hazardous waste drop-off at Village Hall from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Don't forget to reserve your time slot by visiting Will County Green website. Lastly, in honor of Homer Glen Lands Day this weekend, the Environment Committee will have a hike and haul cleanup event on Saturday, October 4th from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Yangus Park. They will provide supplies and sign off for community service hours. For more information on the Environment Committee, please visit the Village website. Earlier this week, as many of you are aware, the Village experienced a loss of Comcast internet and phone services here at Village Hall. I'd like to commend EMA Director Ron Kuss and IT technician Dan Nolan on addressing this issue. As we were informed, this was potentially going to happen again today. They took the necessary measures to implement backup Wi-Fi to maintain Village operations during an outage if it were to occur. Since June, the Village has issued 8 citations for off-road motorized vehicle use. All have been assessed a minimum $1,000 fine. Hopefully, this starts to deter the use of these vehicles on public property. Just last week, during an event here at Village Hall, 3 individuals were riding around Heritage Park on the sled hill and even right outside this building. As the saying goes, you will be caught. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Haber. Trustee Schaller, what do you have for us today?
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to give a thank you to our Finance Department, Lisa Kopis, John Sawyer, and an additional one to Amy Blank. As the board members see, we have a new display in our boardroom regarding a dollar bill, and it goes over the property tax and where your property taxes go within the village. They worked on that and moved that along within the week to have that produced and displayed.
Thank you. Trustee Muller.
I apologize about my tardiness. Traffic and I were not friends today at all. I have no report other than I'd like to say thank you to Trustee Lepore for putting out all the facts on social media about 143rd Street.
Oh, thank you. Trustee Reinders.
Not much, Mayor. Would just like to report that myself and Director Westcott have already had one steering committee meeting with the CODA group for moving forward with the Veterans Memorial and the pavilion and the water feature.
Good to know. Trustee Mason.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Trustee Schaller, for working with Amy and our finance department to put that together. That's an excellent piece for everybody to get a visual of the financial responsibility and what we're doing with the money. I want to talk about Congress is putting together a new infrastructure base bill, and it's to fund roads and bridges around the country. Our current member of Congress serves on the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. In the past, we have seen that big corporate lobbyists try to add hidden language to increase truck and trailer size and weight limitations. I've been in contact with a representative from the Coalition Against Bigger Trucks, or CABT. They have been contacting me for a while, and other local government officials who previously opposed larger truck legislation, which I did last year and again this year. They are seeking for a brief discussion, which I will be having within the next day or two, as far as the status of proposals for heavier and longer tractor trailer units. The representative aims to understand the specific impact on our community with these types of trucks in our area. He is doing this and reaching out because, as I stated earlier, I opposed it last year and again this year. The representative wants our input ahead of this new infrastructure bill being considered by Congress. He is expressing a concern that corporate lobbyists might attempt to include the provisions to increase the truck size and weight. More than 2,200 local government leaders from across the country, including myself, are pressing congressional lawmakers to oppose increases on truck size and weight. This is a grassroots effort to keep massive trucks out of our streets, our roadways, whether they be county, state, or local. Other municipality officials, as well as public work directors and county engineers from all 50 states have signed this petition. The person that I've been working with is Mr. Collins. He is an assistant VP with Coalition Against Bigger Trucks. You can check them out on www.cabt.org. I have his number if any of the other trustees want to discuss and or put their input in as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about is we had a resident from Meadowcrest that spoke at the last safety meeting with myself and Trustee Miller on behalf of his family and others who he had concerns about the safety issues in that area and wanted to thank Public Service, which we don't get a lot, and Safety Committee for addressing his concerns. This was for the line of sight, including the trees, as well as additional speed sensors that were put in and installed just recently. He stated they feel that their voices were heard, and he wanted to personally thank Public Works and Safety Committee for listening and for the efforts to resolve the issues. So I guess at this time I'm doing that for him. His name is Scott McAdam. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Lepore.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First off, thank you to Trustee Muller for his warm comments regarding the 143rd Street post. If any residents do have any questions regarding what's going on with 143rd Street, I encourage you to reach out to your trustees, get the accurate information. Don't believe everything you're hearing out there. This fight is not over, and we will continue to push the village's message forward. In addition to that, right before the meeting started, I was handed a copy of the dining coupon book that was put together by the Economic Development Committee. Janie Patch, director, put a lot of hard work and effort into this, and I'm extremely happy to see it come to fruition. We have over 20 restaurants participating in this. I would encourage all residents rather, to get a hold of one of these, look through it, and take advantage of the options, the dining options, and the incentives that are provided in here. This is a really good program, and we feel that this is something that is not only being taken advantage of by the residents, but the people who come to our community to enjoy our fall festivities. Looking for an economic boost to our local restaurants. I think this is the right vehicle to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Holzhauser.
No report tonight.
Madam Clerk.
No report.
Village Attorney.
Sorry. Yes, briefly, on the last board meeting, I reported that the mayor, myself, the village manager, and the Madam Mayor Pro Tem all participated in a telephone conference with Illinois American Water and representatives from the Illinois Attorney General's office. As many of you know, the Illinois Attorney General is conducting a review and an investigation into the billing anomalies that they had seen based upon the survey results that the residents of Homer Glen had submitted to the village. So there has been a formal letter has been written by the Illinois Attorney General, and I do not want to paraphrase the words that the Illinois Attorney General has used, but this letter will be, if not already, will be posted on the village's website, which just spells out some of the further questions and inquiry that the Illinois Attorney General has, in addition to preliminary policy enactments that the Illinois Attorney General is requesting that Illinois American Water voluntarily do. In addition, the Attorney General has requested that IAW attend a town hall, that all the residents here, that we gather the residents that would like to attend, have representatives from Illinois American Water for the public, for you all to voice your concerns, many of the same concerns that that have been brought to their attention via this survey, but also your own opportunity to voice your voice and have your individual voices heard in a town hall setting. So that letter has been forwarded, and the Attorney General has requested a response, and there's a multitude of things that the AG's office has requested, okay? But a response has been requested to be returned to them by October 3rd. So part of my job here, I've been tasked by the board to continue to update you all, and I will. So I will be providing a further update as to their response to this letter when more information becomes available. So until then, I'll be keeping you posted, okay? Secondly, there's been some questions in regards to 143rd Street and funds. There's been federal funds. And I was asked professionally, personally, from an attorney standpoint, what my opinion was on if monies were funded to individual organizations or to a government entity, for instance, the Village of Homer Glen or one of our sister jurisdictions here, would these funds be lost in the event a project would not go forward? And certainly it all depends upon the source of the funding. The source of the grant would dictate the terms of which that jurisdiction that applied for that grant could potentially lose it or potentially could reallocate it to other projects that they have that are ready to go. In a particular instance with 143rd Street, we've all become apprised that one of the funding mechanisms that's being used by Will County to finance this endeavor is STP funds. Those are surface transportation funds, which are given by the United States Congress to the United States Department of Transportation in a big, big block grant. Then the United States Department of Transportation takes this big block grant and disperses it out to all the states in the union. And they don't handpick, Congress doesn't say, or USDOT doesn't say, hey, let's do this project here or that project here or this project in California. What they do is they give it to the individual states' transportation divisions to then go ahead and provide those funding sources to the applicable projects that are ready in each individual state. In this particular instance, it's IDOT. So the monies, everybody talks about this $7 million number. That $7 million number is an STP grant from the Illinois Department of Transportation, given to them through Congress. The organization who then determines where those funds go from IDOT is a group of local mayors. Let me go this way. It's called CMAP. In our particular region, it's a region that's been designated by the Illinois Department of Transportation to allocate and disperse these funds. CMAP then says, hey, we don't quite know how Will County or how this particular jurisdiction or what's best for them. So what they do is they authorize another organization, and that organization is called the Will Council of Mayors. The Will Council of Mayors, through their protocols, decided to allocate $7 million in STP funds for the Will County Department of Transportation to do this expansion. That's all that's been allocated through this group is that $7 million, and that's where it came from. Now, I can share with you too that people have asked me, and again, the board has asked me, well, what would happen if a project was defunded or if those funds were reallocated? Well, there are a whole slew of what they call contingency projects. So I'm looking at, and this is all publicly available, this is a report from the 2025-2029 STP program, which basically shows the Will County Department of Transportation for 143rd Street from Cream Road to Bell Road being allocated $3.5 million for 2026, and then an additional $3.5 million for 2027. In the event, and this is my opinion, in the event that those funds were reallocated or the Council of Mayors decided that it wasn't in the best interest to use those funds there, those funds would then could very readily be reallocated to other projects within Will County that are able and ready to receive funding. And there's a whole bunch that have been identified. There are, we call them in legalese as contingency projects. Here's one, LaPorte Road Rehabilitation, Brightway Road to LaGrange Road in Makina. They're requesting $3,400,000. Theodore Street in Joliet, they're requesting $4,327,000. Rodeo Drive reconstruction project in Bolingbrook, they're requesting $9,228,000. So you have monies that have been set aside through these STP grants that have been approved to go there. And then in the event something happens where we can't meet milestones or deadlines, then those monies would obviously, and common sense wise, be reallocated down to those other projects that are listed as the contingencies that have requested those funds. So Will County as a jurisdiction, as a whole, this whole area wouldn't lose anything, nothing. It's simply that jurisdiction's project, that jurisdiction's earmarked project, that specific roadway or that project within Will County wouldn't receive funding. It would be reallocated to other projects within Will County that the public want and that are ready to go and ready to receive funding. So there's been questions about, is Will County going to lose this funding forever, what have you? The way the program is set up, that answer is no. Those monies would simply be reallocated to other places within Will County that are ready to go.
Thank you. Okay.
Well said.
All right, mic drop on that one. Okay. Public safety officials. You got nothing. Okay. A couple things. First and foremost, this doesn't just go to the resident who came up to the podium. This goes for everybody. Please do not believe anything on social media unless you hear it from the village itself. Social media, and there are some residents that particularly like to spread misinformation out there. They are doing it on purpose as scare tactics and whatnot. Please do not listen to anyone on social media that talks about anything that goes on in this village unless it comes from this village. I know the resident who came up and spoke earlier stated it's only 30 parcels that are affected. One parcel is too many. This village board is not going to give up on fighting on 143rd, as you could just tell that our attorney just explained a couple of things. Personally, I'm extremely disappointed in the county board members who voted for this. They didn't listen to their residents. It's maybe 30 homes now, but it's going to be all down 143rd. This whole thing of we're just going to do Golden Oak to Parker and defund the project to Lamont Road, it's BS. They plan to expand the whole thing. It was just a way, it was a play to play their board members to believe, because if you listen to the board meeting, they actually say, the members say, that we will never try to do an offer with the residents along 143rd Street. They tried to get that in there, and they just kept trying to push it, and it never was put in there. They cannot make a promise that they'll never try to eminent domain someone's property. They can't do it. So they did not put it in the motion. They got what they wanted. They're going to just keep plowing through, and we're not going to stop. I'll go to Springfield. I don't care. I'll do whatever it takes to try to get this to stop, because it's not needed. And it's just, the attorney just stated, there are literally other towns that are begging for money, and they want to throw it at us when we don't want it. I understand that some of those county board members weren't on the board before and blah, 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 but for years, I just read through a ton of minutes and a ton of paperwork saying that for years, residents from this town have been very vocal, meeting after meeting after meeting, saying we don't want this road. I can't help but think there's some other reason they're doing this. It's a shame, it's disgraceful. Those board members who voted for it, huge disappointment. They're not representing the residents, they're representing someone else or something else, in my opinion. With that nice comment, I have to say, there is a misconception on Facebook, and we just talked about this, by the way. We just had a committee of the whole meeting right before this. That is this board's plan, is to continue to do committee of the whole meeting so we can openly talk and discuss matters that are hot topics and going on. As the community knows, we can't meet with each other, more than 2 of us at a time, otherwise we're in violation of the Open Meetings Act. So we're going to do a committee of the whole more often and just continue to talk openly about matters. One of the things we talked about today was the budget. And in that budget discussion, we talked about the misconception that the Village of Homer Glen is paying for the expansion of 143rd. That is the most ridiculous comment I've ever heard in my life, because we wouldn't be fighting for something not to happen and then pay for it. That doesn't make any sense to me. There was we talked about how there is an IGA out there between the village and the county. It has not been executed, it has not been signed. It was proposed to us and we just kind of left it be. So
Explain IGA.
Oh, IGA is an intergovernmental agreement. So the Village of Homer Glen and the county have County has proposed an intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Homer Glen to pay for sidewalks along 143rd and landscaping and retaining walls and whatnot. The village has not signed anything. So whatever you read on Facebook or whatever you hear through these big mouths out there, just know it's not true. With that, the Ability Awareness Committee, oh, the other thing, there was a traffic study that the Village of Homer Glen did. It wasn't an official traffic study. The attorney and I had found many mistakes. It was a temporary thing. We didn't even finish. It was a half of a traffic study, and somehow it got out there, and someone put it out there purposely to use against us. The numbers on there are not finalized or finished. Unfortunately, like I said, we have people out there that just want to keep digging the knife in deeper and making it worse for this village. I'm going to turn my time to the attorney for a moment.
Thank you, ma'am. So just real quick, so the term traffic study, I think, just needs to be clarified. What we had done was we requested our engineer to compile data. Data is simply a number. It's put on, it's what economists use, it's what engineers use. They go out there and they observe certain things taking place. So what they did is they captured data. All we received was a data sheet.
Yeah.
That data sheet was extremely confusing to myself, the mayor, and I believe the village manager as well. We were all looking at those numbers and we couldn't reconcile those numbers. Now, so you have data and then you have experts that look at that data and then make conclusions based upon that data. We never had an expert review that data and give any impressions or conclusions, because when we reviewed the data, we were completely confused with it. So all of a sudden, that data gets released, other people have it, and then they're saying, they're making their own conclusions when no conclusions were ever issued based upon that data, okay? So therein lies the complete confusion. But I wanted to clarify that what was released was not a report, didn't contain any impressions from an expert. It simply was the data that was captured, and all three of us that looked at it were confused based upon the information that we saw, and we needed it clarified. And Madam Mayor, I'm not sure if you've been clarified.
I haven't.
I have not received any clarification back myself, okay? So I just wanted to clarify that with everyone.
So there was a part B to that, but we wanted to see where the county was going, because these things cost money. We didn't want to throw more money at something if the board was going to expand this road anyways. There's a touch and go situation going on here. The other thing with my Ability Awareness Committee, I'm very proud of them again. For all the events that we have in the village, they're trying to make them more accessible. So with every event, so either it's sensory sensible or maybe an hour early if we have different events. If there's a family with a relative with special needs, please contact the village, let us know. We'll get you on our email list and let you know the information. All right, I think that's it for reports. Moving on to consent agenda. Consider for approval the accounts payable for the period of September 13th, 2025 through September 25th, 2025 in the amount of $1,281,937.67. And 2, consider for approval the treasurer's report of cash and investments for the period ending May 31st, 2025 in the amount of $50,542,132.49. Is there a motion?
I'll make.
Trustee
I'll second.
Reinders, Trustee Mason. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders. Aye. Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Motion carries. Legislation and action items. Consider for approval of a resolution number 25-009, a resolution approving the 2025 Affordable Housing Plan for the Village of Homer Glen and submittal to the state of Illinois. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Lepore, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Mason. If you guys don't mind, I'd like for the attorney to go ahead and explain to the public what this actually is before those monsters on Facebook go ahead and say we're throwing affordable housing everywhere in Homer Glen.
No, ma'am, this is something that's required by Illinois law and fair housing laws, that each village, each municipal local unit of government has to put forth their policy and also their a resolution regarding the number of affordable housing units, and this is required by IDA, which is the Illinois Housing Development Authority. So this is simply complying with both federal and state law.
Thank you, Attorney Mike, or I'm sorry, Trustee Lepore, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I believe this is misguided for the state of Illinois to mandate the type of housing communities should provide. I'm not a fan of the state dictating the housing makeup of Homer Glen. This is a government overreach in every way. And if multifamily or affordable housing is needed, it should happen organically and not by the heavy-handed government. However, as Homer Glen is termed a non-exempt local government body, and with the consideration of the current law in place, the plan is needed. This resolution is the best path forward. Thank you.
Trustee Mason, nice report or nice comments.
Yeah,
Trustee Lepore.
and I don't know if I can even improve on that. This is something that's been, for lack of better words, being shoved down our throat for some times, and we have to come into compliance. I've been on the board for a little over 2 years and have gotten notifications about this. I'm glad that we're finally updating, and actually we're updating a plan that was back from December of 2023, I believe. And as Trustee Lepore stated, this is something that needs to be done, not with great enthusiasm, but needs to be done.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Yeah, I would just like to add on to that with, this is a proposed plan that's just an updated version of the formally approved plan from 2015. And I'd like to stress, I guess, the most, it's not a mandate to accept new developments that include affordable housing. It's not a mandate. And residents' ownership is strongly encouraged, so these are not, you know, the way the plan is worded, it's for ownership of property, not for rentals. And I believe it's the best plan going forward to meet the qualifications asked for.
Trustee Schaller?
No comment.
Trustee Muller, or Miller? Which one are you today? Muller?
Whatever, Miller.
If I may, can I ask the attorney a question regarding this? If a municipality is not in compliance with the state mandate, what are the repercussions?
Well, can I get back to you?
Please.
The reason why I'm saying is that the IDA laws, the fair housing laws get updated all the time, and I don't want to misstate a potential remedy. But I can share with you that what has happened historically in the past, not that this is going to happen in the future, but historically in the past, members of the Attorney General's office, in addition to members of the U.S. Department of Justice, do get involved. And that's when they would bring in a local municipality or those folks and discuss potential remedies with them at that time. So that happens historically.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have no other comment.
Trustee Reinders?
I concur with all of my fellow trustees. I'm not going to repeat everything they said.
Yep, I agree as well. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Schaller?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 2, consider for approval resolution number 2510, approving the following executive session minutes: May 8th, 2024, May 22nd, 2024, June 12th, 2024, June 25th, 2024, July 24th, 2024, August 14th, 2024, and September 11th, 2024. The executive session minutes still require confidential treatment, are not to be released. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Reinders?
I'll second.
Trustee Mason? Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Trustee Schaller?
Aye.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 3, consider for approval of an ordinance approving the renewal of the cable television franchise agreement by and between the Village of Homer Glen and Comcast of Illinois, 6 LLC, and authorizing the execution thereof. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason?
I'll second.
Trustee Lepore, any discussion?
This is something that we need, like we have talked about this in the past, but this is what we need with all of the utilities. We need franchise agreements, so before they go and start any work, they need to be permitted. When they're using our easements, our right-of-ways, they just can't tear up our streets without our knowledge.
Any more discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 4, consider for approval a motion approving the proposal from Administrative Consulting Specialist LLC, ACS, for a comprehensive organizational staffing study, job description review, and update, village-wide policy manual update. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Schaller?
I'll second.
Trustee Lepore? Trustee Schaller?
Well, we spoke about this at length during our committee of the whole. I believe it is a positive way forward for this village to get a bird's eye view of what's needed and any potential ways that we can better serve our residents within these 4 walls of this village hall. That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Lepore?
Yeah, I agree with everything Trustee Schaller said. Had multiple conversations with all the trustees about this, and as well as the Todd from Administrative Consulting Specialist. He seems to be the right person for the job. His company seems to know what they're doing in this field, and I think this is overdue and a welcome agenda item that we should be pursuing. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this? I know we kind of
I would just
discussed
like to state that it helps us to evaluate the current structure and the staffing levels, the workloads and the efficiencies across departments. It's our responsibility to be financially responsible, and we want to make sure that everything aligns and that there's not duplicates going on. And I think in the long run, I think being that the comprehensive plan hasn't been updated since 2005, I think this will help us to move in that direction and make sure that we're keeping our eye on the ball, so to speak. And it's from an outside source, so I really like it. I think I mentioned in the committee of the whole, I had talked to a couple people from other municipalities, and I know in the private sector, we used to get audited every year, and a lot of the other municipalities to get audited. And an audit could be good or bad, but bottom line, it's to help us get right where we need to be, to make sure we're on target, to make sure we're not duplicating efforts, to make sure that if we're lacking in one area or another, that we can attack that as well. So I think in the long run, when you look further out, it's going to help us both financially, and I think it's the perfect way to go.
Sounds great. Any other comments? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Motion carries. Any old business? Any new business? The only thing I have for new business is, I know there's been a lot of back and forth. The trustees make $6,000 a year, correct? Am I right on that?
Yes.
Trustees make, and Candace, sorry, what? What? You guys are all raising your hand. What happened?
We have an item under new.
Oh, it's not on my, it's not on mine. So you're going to cut me off while I'm
It
talking
was
about something?
regarding the TIF information.
Oh, I don't have it on mine either.
sorry.
None of us have it on our.
None of us have it on our agenda.
I guess if we could have a trustee bring this up under one of, is it new business or old business, Jay? Old business, if we can bring it up.
Trustee Schaller, please.
How is
I'll
that
make a
old?
motion to
Just
hear
cut me
this.
off? I'm going to go back to finish what I was saying, and then we can go back to TIF. So the clerk makes $5,000, am I correct? Correct. I think at some point, I know before an election, I think it is unfair that the clerk makes, I mean, we're not talking $1 million here. You guys make $6,000 a year. I make $15,000. I think I make a penny an hour. And sometimes I feel like I'm paying to be here. I think that
I think so too.
the clerk, at some point, this board should consider making, I think, does it have to go to a referendum? No.
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 I think for the next, so what happens is 6 months prior to the next election, you guys have to put a vote in, if that's what you so choose to do, to make the clerk's salary even with the Board of Trustees, or set it for whatever, but I think it should at least be the same amount as the trustees. That's my new business. Glad I got it off my chest now. TIF. Let's talk about TIF. Who is she and what does she want? No, I'm just kidding. For new business? No, this is old business.
We were
Old,
asked
it can go
to,
under new or old, it doesn't matter.
we were asked to investigate TIF information, and under old business, the last board meeting that was brought up. So I had Economic Development Director Janie Patch put together some information regarding TIF financing. She attended the IML seminar last week on this topic. So I'd like for her to present just a little bit of background information as it relates to TIF financing districts.
Sure, I suggest for the next time, but we put it under workshop because that would probably be the best place to put it. Janie, you have the floor.
Okay. I do have a packet that was prepared because this was seminar was just last Thursday, so it's a print copy of slides at your seats that has a lot of background that I think if you have a chance to take a look at that will give you a very good overview. My comments and briefing right now would take about 5 minutes. Madam Mayor, if you would prefer this to be in a workshop on a different agenda, that's fine.
No, that's fine. It would have been nice to see it on the agenda, and if it was late, that's fine. But in the middle of me just saying something important, I just didn't feel like I should have been cut off for it. But it's fine to discuss it now. We got time. It's only 7:18. Take your time. This is a record meeting.
Okay, apologies for the
No,
agenda.
yeah, that's okay.
Mess up. I have a couple of slides here and some information to try to help give you an overview of how this works. Tax increment financing, or TIF, can be a powerful tool for economic development. The State Tax Increment Allocation Redevelopment Act, known as the TIF Act, directs how TIF districts can be used for economic development. We're going to stay on the same slide, please, until I ask for the next one. Thank you. The TIF Act identifies the criteria that applies to creating a TIF district, the uses of TIF funds, how to work with other taxing bodies within the TIF district, and the extensive management, compliance, annual reporting, and budget requirements. So that's all kind of governed by the state act. Here is how TIF works, and I think the two buckets graphic here is helpful to try to wrap up your head around how this works. It's a mechanism to allocate property tax revenue within the established TIF district into two buckets, okay? So the first bucket continues the support to all taxing districts, schools, library, village, et cetera. The second bucket becomes the funding the funding source to spur economic development in the specific tax district. At the creation of a TIF district, the equalized assessed value, or EAV, of property in the area is set at a base amount. Over the life of the TIF district, the respective annual tax rate for each taxing district is applied to the base EAV. The resulting property taxes collected into the first bucket continue to be distributed to the school districts, library, and all other affected taxing bodies as if the TIF district did not exist. As new development takes place within the TIF district, there will be incremental increases in the assessed valuation, the equalized assessed valuation. The real estate tax revenue derived from the increased EAV becomes what is called the tax increment. This revenue goes into the second bucket. And that is for TIF eligible project costs. That's how those kinds of projects are funded. So it's a redistribution. This is not a tax, it's a redistribution of property tax revenues. The tax increment in the second bucket is used to stimulate desired new development. It's a tool to leverage public and private investment. So if we could go to the second slide, please. Thank you. In this second graphic, the two buckets are represented by the black area for what's going to continue to be available to the taxing districts at the base EAV level with the annual tax rate applied. And then the orange area is where the real estate tax increment is created when there is increases in assessed valuation. And that incremental increase then goes into that second bucket and funds TIF eligible projects. The initial maximum term of a TIF district is 23 years, as shown in this graphic. When the TIF district ends, all taxing bodies then share the total expanded tax base, which is the growth that would not have been possible without the use of TIF financing. That's represented by the green area in this graphic. TIF is not a quick fix. The process to study and establish a TIF district can take at least 9 months. There are upfront costs involved with engaging TIF expertise and conducting the TIF feasibility study. TIF districts are initially set up for a maximum of 23 years, as I mentioned. Many examples of case studies are out there that show progress toward economic development goals can take years to realize. Okay, so this is kind of a long-term mechanism, and you have to wait for those increases to happen in the incremental EAV. Public projects like utility extension, streetscape improvements can be undertaken to help attract development, and then new development within the district will increase the assessed value, and the incremental increase in property tax revenues will seed the TIF fund to incentivize further development. The expertise needed and involved will include a TIF consultant and a TIF attorney, and then economic incentives available for private development through TIF should fill a true financial, should fill a true financial gap. There needs to be a financial gap identified. So it's not just thrown at any project. There needs to be a test. So a management tip from the recent IML seminar advises the use of a third-party consultant to conduct pro forma reviews to ensure that the but-for test is met. That is, but for the TIF increment incentive, the project would not be constructed. So the proposed development projects within a TIF district should be evaluated based on community goals. The best place to start with this is the comprehensive plan, and you've already been discussing that. In the recent IML TIF seminar, presenters shared that it's ideal to have the goals of the TIF district aligned with the strategic goals of the community. In the lack of policy, all that is left is politics was a message that was delivered during the TIF seminar by the presenters. So if you could go to the next slide, please. This slide depicts the comp plan is really the foundation for setting more detailed economic development goals, objectives, and strategies. And then if you would go to the last slide, please. Thank you. It shows how community goals feed right into the beginning of the process of considering a new economic development opportunity. So there's a foundation and a framework for making these decisions. I mentioned the printed packet has been distributed tonight. We have several areas in the village which perhaps for various reasons may be potential candidates for TIF, but we would have to have some expertise in this with us to figure that out. TIF consultants and attorneys can be brought in to discuss the potential for Homer Glen. The resources and contacts are available from the IML seminar I just attended. But the first question will be, what does the village want to see happen in these areas? So a recommendation is in line with what I believe the board's been talking about, seeking policy alignment by first working with the comprehensive plan. So I hope this quick briefing and the packet overview, as you get a chance to take a look at it, will help with the board's future discussion, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that. Does anybody have any questions to start?
I think I need to read more about it.
No questions? Does anybody have any comments?
I have a comment. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your presentation. And so quickly, from our last meeting, 2 meetings, that this was brought up. I would hope that getting some background on this continues the conversation at this board level to explore TIF even further, to see if this is this type of financing is available or will fit locations within Homer Glen to spur development. As we had our earlier committee of the whole meeting with our finance people, and our new signage here with where our property dollar goes, we are sales tax driven and wanting to keep property tax extremely low. It is important for this village to move forward with development that increases sales tax. And if we can use this as a vessel to attract and assist us, I think it's beneficial. That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Lepore?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First off, thank you, Director Patch, for the research and attending the IML regarding TIF. Once again, the comprehensive plan is something that this village does need to address, and we will do. Agenda item M4, which is the comprehensive organizational study, staff study, that was proposed by administrative consulting specialists, is step one to producing a comprehensive plan. After speaking with the representative from ACS, they assured us that this is the right way to go. We do this first, then the comprehensive plan second. You really don't want to put the cart before the horse on these things. But I think we do have to remain focused on an updated comprehensive plan. I think it's going to benefit us not only in grant writing, but also, as Director Patch has stated, in this TIF directive we're trying to push. I think this is a great tool for us to look into, and it should be part of our overall goal moving forward in developing business and attracting business to Homer Glen. Thank you.
The last comprehensive plan was 2015. I mean,
2020 was the updated.
2005. 2020 is, but it didn't get approved in 2020. Okay. So 2005 was the last time our plan was done. It's time to get it updated.
I think we also know where a good TIF district would be, which is all the vacancies down 159th Street.
Okay. Any more old business, new business, anything in there? Nope. No workshop. Are we going to go into executive session? Okay. We are going. Is there a motion to go into executive session regarding discussion regarding personnel, discussion regarding pending litigation, and executive session minutes? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Trustee Muller and Trustee Reinders. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Good night.